Hey there again, I'm Isaac Wardell. In my previous videos we've talked about building relationships through social media marketing. We've also talked about word-of-mouth advertising through social media marketing, gathering testimonials, handling reactions, and capturing top-of-mind awareness. Today I'd like to go a step further and talk about follow-up. Most purchases can be narrowed down to two categories. The first is impulse. A product or service catches the eye of your customers and they decide immediately that they want to have it and buy it. We see this quite often with candy bars and soda pop and other low price point items. Impulse items can apply to all price points, but we most generally find them in the lower price points. The second type of purchase category is follow-up. This is when a consumer sees or hears about your product or service but doesn't immediately buy. From that point forward, it continues to fade in their memory, unless some sort of follow-up is established. Now, for the purposes of this video, follow-up is bringing to mind that product or service in your customer's mind again. While impulse purchases may seem to be the easier of the two, very few sales are made this way. Most are made through follow-up. I've yet to meet a real estate agent who had a buyer walk by a house and decide they wanted to buy it up on impulse. Usually, it takes follow-up. Now this might seem a little bit overboard for your industry, so I've got another example. Most of you are probably familiar with Mike Rowe from the show Dirty Jobs. Recently he's been promoting Lee's Premium Select Jeans. Now let's say you saw Mike Rowe's commercial on the morning news. Chances are you did not rush out and buy Lee's Premium Select Jeans. In fact, you may not even be in the market for jeans. But as you're going into work that day, there's a billboard featuring Lee's Premium Select Jeans. Perhaps later at work while you're listening to Pandora, an ad pops up for Lee's Premium Select Jeans. You go home that night and decide to go to a movie theater. While you're walking by JCPenney's, they have a stand of Lee's Premium Select Jeans sitting out front of the store along with a colorful poster. Now, whether you realize it or not, Lee's Premium Select Jeans just followed up with you 4 times during the day. The next time you're in the market for jeans, you'll probably consider Lee's Premium Select Jeans because they continue to follow up with you over and over. I was recently at a dinner with a friend of mine and we began talking about Mike Rowe. I asked him which commercials Mike Rowe was doing, and he mentioned the Ford commercial. I asked him if he could think of any others and he couldn't, and I brought up Lee's Premium Select Jeans. He immediately remembered, and then I asked him a curious question. I asked him how many times he'd seen Mike Rowe doing the Ford commercials, and he said probably 10 to 12 times. I then asked him how many times he had seen Lee's Premium Select Jeans commercial featuring Mike Rowe, and he said maybe 2 or 3, which brings out an interesting point. The more follow-up, the more likely your customers are to remember it. It takes an average of 10 touches or 10 follow-ups for a person to remember your product or service. As another example, most home buyers begin looking for a home about 6 to 9 months before they're actually ready to buy. This means when a client comes in and they're not ready to buy, if you don't follow up with them, that contact will be lost to someone else. My wife and I experienced this when we first started home shopping. We would go around and call on different signs and get a realtor here or there to show us a home, but most of them made no real effort to follow up. As a result, we continued to bounce to another realtor here, another realtor there. We even had the former president of the local association of realtors show us a home and didn't really experience any follow-up from him. However, there was one agent that came out of the woodwork and began to follow up with us. Interestingly enough, we ended up buying our first house through her. Okay, so I've convinced you about the value of following up with someone. How does this relate to social media marketing? Well, the truth is, once somebody subscribes to your YouTube channel, follows you on Twitter, likes your Facebook page, you have a chance to follow up with them on a regular basis. If you're a real estate agent, every time you list a new home is a potential chance to follow up with your huge client base. Now you've got the opportunity to upload a video of the new home to YouTube, put a fact sheet out there and link it to Twitter and Facebook, or even link Twitter and Facebook to your new YouTube video. Each one of these opportunities provides a chance to follow up with a client that you currently have that's in the market for a home, but also for those who might just be dreaming. The Parade of Homes has made a lot of money off of dreamers who just look at the pretty houses and dream of someday owning one. The interesting thing is that eventually those people will move. The average buyer homeowner, moves every 3 to 5 years. So if you're continuing to follow up with them, there's a chance that someday, when they're in the mood to buy a new home, you'll be the first person that comes to mind, and since you've been following up with them, they won't even look for anybody else. Now you say that's great for real estate agents, but what about my industry? Well, if you're in the restaurant industry, what if you took a picture of the lunch special and put it on Facebook and linked it to Twitter? Or maybe you took a 30-second clip of the lunch special and put it on YouTube. Everybody that's following you on the social media networks would see your lunch special. Now if you posted it at say 10:15, everybody who cruises their Facebook and Twitter accounts at 10:30 on their break will be thinking about your food for the next hour and a half before lunch. Come lunchtime, they're going to be thinking, you know, that hamburger sounded really good. Let's head over to that restaurant. This is one example. Each industry is going to have their own examples, but the concept is all the same. If you're thinking this sounds great, we'd like to help you get started. We're offering a free white paper that you can get at besightedsocialmarketing.com. Also, if you like this video, please subscribe, as we'll be having more in the future. Again, for that free white paper to help you get started with your social media marketing, please visit besightedsocialmarketing.com. Thanks so much for watching.